All right. So we're so excited that to get your email. Maybe can you share your background and how did that email came about? The interest with the brand.
Yeah, sure. So we are franchise consultants here in the UK, and we work with a variety of food and beverage businesses. I've been in franchising for the last 15 years. I'm a solicitor, so I've always my background always been a solicitor in franchising. Started off in Australia actually, and then moved to the UK. And we've just been always working with the largest brands. So Anytime Fitness being the first one. Then I've been advising Domino's, Costa, franchisees. And then we started franchise consultancy. It's me and my two other business partners. So basically, I cover the legal side of things, more operational side of things. Then we've got James, who is an acting CEO of one of the largest franchise brands in Poland. He comes from the financial side, financial advice for the franchisees. Then we've got Russell, who is our resales person. So he actually assists brands who are existing franchise businesses like yourself to find them franchisees. Now, majority of our potential franchisees um, come from they all high net worth individuals who already have an established portfolio of other franchise brands, and they are interested in diversifying this portfolio, and they're interested in bringing more brands into the UK. So we do work with a number of international clients like yourselves that we bring into the UK and establish them here. Now, we work with a variety of individuals. Some are interested in just buying a few, maybe even buying a first one, setting up the first store to understand how well it's going to work. Others are only interested in a cluster, say a redevelopment agreement. They might want to buy 4 straight away, so 4, 5, 6. Or there are individuals who would actually want to buy a master franchise for the country. So we do offer different services depending on your requirements. But basically, our major intention is to bring the brand into the country. Is that sort of what you're after at the moment? Yeah, so to be honest with you, I've been following you guys for a while. I just think it's such a great idea, and it's so unique as well. So that's exactly why I got in touch. And this is definitely, you of course the Japanese brand Arabica coffee. Uh, you know, I've been approaching them, but they already have a representative here. So, and they're doing really well here. So just using them as an example, I think for you don't need to invent the wheel. You can you can just follow what by example. So they are doing really well. Um, they they've got a slightly different business model here compared to say States. Um, and of course, yeah, depending on if you've done sort of research, but in terms of per country research, but we're talking about central London, for example, the cost of property is super high, but you can be anywhere. And even if you're talking about central London, actually you don't need a large space. It can be tiny, but you just need a demand of customer demand, and you get that because you stand out. You're so different. That's how I saw it, and I was like, I need to get in touch.
Yes, that's actually correct. And the brand is designed for younger individuals who are really looking for good coffee, really good coffee, throughout the day. Um, so with the Japanese in mind. So I'll introduce Joe first. Joe, maybe you have a question or
Hi Maria, I'm Joe. and
Okay.
a certified franchise executive. You mentioned a while ago that you came from Australia.
Yeah,
Oh,
correct.
I just have my friend here in I just finished his attending the seminar or the boot camp of Greg Nathan. Do you
Oh,
know?
wow. Okay, interesting. No, never heard of it.
Oh, okay. He's a certified franchise executive as well, and he's into franchise relationships. He flew in from Australia this week for our Franchise Asia conference.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Hmm. So it's so what you're gonna send us a proposal, right, Maria?
Of course, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And you see that there's a large potential for the brand to be there in UK?
Yes, as I said, you know, your brand is very different. It stands out. It it can be the actual sort of coffee shops can be as small or as large. There is no limit. Um, and we're talking about properties in central locations like central London, central Manchester. They're
Yeah.
so expensive
Yeah.
that that's why it's so important to, and that's I think that's the beauty of any Japanese brand. Like as I said, and I've been involved with Anytime Fitness, and they're
Mm-hmm.
growing in Japan so fast because they just manage to fit their gyms anywhere. And I think that's the beauty with your brand as well. It can, as long as it's high traffic flow area, it's definitely doable. And you're really big on Instagram, and this is what is so important these days, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
You've got a really large following. Um, Now, what I will need, you know, I'm happy to send you a non-disclosure agreement before you share that information. But what will be very important for us to see is your franchise disclosure document, franchise agreement. I would imagine you already have it all done because you do have a franchise system in place. Is that correct? Yeah. So,
Maria,
mhm,
actually, the model that we have here in the Philippines is not actually franchising, but it's more of licensing and
mhm,
business partnerships. Um, to be honest with you, we just started last year. Okay, and
mhm,
we are finalizing the systems as of this moment. And we are just quite over not we are just quite blessed that after this video, the viral video of our hole in the wall concept became viral. Okay, so there were a lot of international inquiries, but technically speaking, we are still working on the franchise program because the initial business format that we have is a business partnership or licensing in the Philippines.
mhm.
So, but there were a lot of inquiries already coming from different parts of the world, and we are just, you know, taking it one step at a time because we know that the rules also in UK is very stiff on the franchising aspect of
Yeah,
the business. It's
yeah.
just as stiff as Australia and US.
You know, it's well, we are quite blessed in this country. The franchisors are. It's not as um, heavily pro-franchisee as it is in Australia, for example,
Mm.
and it's not as regulated as it is in US, where you actually have to register as a franchisor in every state. For example, we don't have it here, but we do need to have a franchise agreement and a franchise disclosure document. Every franchisor has to have it. And you do need to have a trademark. The trademark to register with with our patent organization, it's only like £250. So the trademark itself is not expensive. In terms of the legal documents, I can prepare them for you in the meantime. So I can just sort of I can send you different sort of services that we provide and how much it costs. We're not expensive compared to many other solicitors in a way, or like franchise. Like here it's not regulated that there is like no middle ground. But for example, if I were to prepare those documents for you, that will apply here in the UK. It will also apply in quite a lot of European countries, those documents. If you were to sign a franchisee in Australia, for example, those documents will need to change. So majority of our clients, if they want to go internationally, if it's a UK brand that wants to go internationally, we prepare most of the work for them, or all the work for them. And then we then can tweak it per country. The only country we don't touch is US, just because US is just so complicated and everything needs to be done by their own legal team. But in terms of sort of UK and Europe, we're quite comfortable. As I said, like every country is different. If we say, if you've got an interested party in the Netherlands, for example, Netherlands is slightly more pro-franchisee. Or if you've got someone in the Middle East, they just have slightly different, steps for the franchise. So what we normally do with our franchisors is we start by focusing on, say, UK, or we've got a client in Singapore who's they've got a franchisee in Korea. So we are preparing documents for that. So start off with one country and then tweak it depending on who your interested parties are. I think you said you're speaking to a number of potential franchisees. So you might sort of we might start off with preparing. The changes are not that humongous. It's just as long as we understand where we focus on, that's the beginning. But reality is, what we do is, how it works is, while I work on the development side of things, my business partner, who is a resales individual, he will be contacting his resales database and try and find you a client at the same time.
So
we also work with
what's your business model for, said, based on a closure rate or upfront fees for your company?
So how we normally work, we've got different ways of working. If it's just focusing on franchise development fee, then we charge a franchise development fee of £15,000, payable in 3 payments. So first payment at the very beginning when you start working with us. Second payment after I provided with all the legal information. So you've got something, and actually, if you don't want to go ahead, you don't have to. And it's all written in service agreement. And the last payment is once we are finished. With that franchise development process, we spend 4 to 6 months working with a business, because we're not just providing the documents, we're providing a full training on how to be a franchisor. We also provide you with operations manual. Now, especially considering how unique your business is, you need to have an operations manual where you provide your franchisees on information about branding, on marketing, how social media works. You, of course, are so good at social media, you could potentially just want to protect it so that only you do it, and you notify your clients about the new opening, for example, in London, and maybe you do all of marketing for that store as well. It just depends on that. We also do all the financials for your franchisees. Again, that's why we need to start off by focusing on 1 or 2 specific countries, so that we can actually sort of do a research about the property cost, for example. And then we pretty much train you on how to train your franchisees and how to support your franchisees. What we also do is we train you on marketing side of things, because reality is, you want yes, you will have franchise consultants helping you sell in certain countries, but you also need to be aware of how to do it yourself. So we do that bit for you as well. Now, in terms of your income as a franchisor, we also need to understand, like, there are different ways of earning money from franchising. So usually what we charge goes technically towards your first, you collect that money from your first franchise sale. Your initial franchise fee usually ranges between sort of 10,000, I'm speaking in pounds, we could say similar sort of in terms of euros, 10,000 to sort of 30,000. Now, the fee that you're charging very much depends on the value of the brand, and it depends on the type of training and support that you provide. Usually, when you start at the very beginning, when you only have maybe 1, 2, 3 franchisees, you'd want to charge a low initial franchise fee just because you want to increase your brand. But the bigger you grow, after you sold your first 5, you can increase that initial franchise fee. Again, we go through it in detail. Now, there are other ways. That's technically what you are getting from initial franchise fee. You are supposed to spend on that franchisee, and that is your time. That is your time, your resource, your skills. Now, if we then talk about the actual benefit from franchise, how do you actually earn money from being a franchisor? This comes from a variety of charges. So firstly, you charge your franchisee initial, you charge them your monthly royalty fees. And royalty is what everyone kind of knows. It's more like a standard percentage that you charge. There are two types. There's fixed fee and a percentage model. Now, with case of your with your brand, if you're going to a country where it's quite normal to still charge cash, not card, I would probably try and go towards fixed fee model in those countries, because you won't be able to actually know how much they actually charge, and it will be very hard for you to track. If you are going to countries such as the UK, where everything is now card payments, you could of course do a percentage of turnover, and that percentage of turnover very much ranges. Again, it's hard to put a number on it without actually seeing your turnover, and because we of course want to be a successful franchisor, but we don't want our franchisees to suffer. The standard sort of percentages that in food and beverage, sort of between 7 to 12%. Could be higher, could be lower. Once we see the numbers, we can actually advise. Now, there are other fees that you could charge. In your case, your marketing, your Instagram is what helps you grow. This is how people know you. Hence why, if you ask me, I'd probably keep it to the franchisor, keep it to them, but then charge a higher marketing fee, because you as a franchisor are actually doing all the marketing for that franchisee. And if your standard marketing fee on top of your royalty fee is usually 1% of turnover, in your case, you could put it much higher. You could do 3-4%. So that's an additional income, which is very different to a royalty fee. And then you could also charge an IT fee. And this is a fee for like pretty much any software that you make them use, whether it's, you've got licenses for the payments, for example, just extend those licenses to them and charge them a percentage of IT fee. So there are other fees that are kind of hidden, but they're obviously beneficial to you as a franchisor. Now, there is another possible income for you as well as a franchisor, and this is supplier rebates. And this is what we normally spend an hour with our clients, looking into their existing suppliers, looking in there and seeing which suppliers, in your case, like straight away, I would say coffee beans, for example, maybe bakeries, maybe like a, international bakery that provides frozen croissants. So that we will look into different suppliers and figure out which ones you could have a close relationship, so that you actually charge rebates per sale. So this way, you're not only getting a percentage of turnover per sale per franchisee, you're also getting a percentage per every purchase they make from a supplier. So there are different, and we normally, what we try to do is look into your suppliers and then look into other potential suppliers that we could add, or suppliers that we work with that are already sort of franchise friendly and they understand the rebates model, and try and see how much money you could make that way. So I always say it's much better to be a franchisor than a franchisee because there are so many ways of earning money. It's just a matter of making it, be an ethical franchisor. You don't want to grab so much that your franchises start closing down because you tried so hard. Yeah. So this is usually what we look into, and that's why the development takes such a long period of time, because there are so many nuances when it comes to being a franchisor. License is slightly different model because it's not as you're not as heavily involved. But franchising, technically, you are because, and but you're getting much more money out of it. If that answered any of your questions.
Very good.
Thank you, Maria, for the information. So, you can just send us your proposal on the company profile and the proposal or the services that you are offering for us. Then we will take it to the board.
Okay, sounds good. All right. Thank you, guys, and I guess we'll speak soon.
Yeah. Do you have a question on the brand or anything, or you followed our program, right?
I do follow you guys. So from what I understand, at the moment you've got the stores that belong to the company, that belong to the board, and then you've got a couple of stores that are license owned.
Yes.
Yeah.
And others are partnerships. We carry a lot of business format.
Yeah. And
okay, how many?
Go. Yes. What's the question?
How many stores you've got? So you've got stores in Japan and Manila. In Japan and Philippines.
We have 4 stores in Manila, and then we're expanding to 10 more stores before the year ends. So a lot of the other stores are in development, in parallel execution, because we actually got a lot of interest locally and internationally. Now, we're one of our partners is also a master of the franchise model. His name is Jomag, and he did like a Potato Corner franchise internationally also. So we're also familiar with the business models that you were asking in terms of earning from the model. We're really interested on particularly because particularly UK, finding a person to be able to execute that Mamonako Kohi concept in UK, and the footprint, as you said, is not that big. But aside from that initial store, an area development plan on how do we do UK or something. Because the concept is quite unique, and it actually works on the 4th wave of the coffee cycle, which is specialty cold coffee. And it's really good coffee, but at the same time, it works on different formats, which is the whole format, and that Instagrammable neon setup really combines very well. We're very popular to the Gen Z particular market and the youth. So this will just grow. And perfect actually the UK market. So if ever we're interested on, how to set it up, at the same time, really looking for a partner, because it doesn't make sense if we just set up the model and we're not able to get a partner in UK to execute it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we do, as I said before, we do. Uh, there is a package where it's just franchise development, but we also have we also do an offer where we are doing franchise development at the same time as the actual sale. So franchise sales services, so that the two run parallel to each other, so that by the time you're actually have the full documents and the full package ready, you also can sell at the same time, or sell to a existing individual. So it's not just let's develop you and then you focus on selling. We will run the two together, because our intention actually is to try and sell for you, of course. And the reality is, for you being an international brand, it's much easier for you to work with a partner who actually bought, say, either an area development or bought the whole country, because they have local knowledge, they have local contacts, and it's much easier for them to potentially sell franchises here locally than it is for you to just sell one store and try and find more and more. It's completely it's a different concept, and for an international franchisor, it's much easier to do it this way. That's my opinion. I think that's kind of what you're after as well. We'll also work with a number of consultants in other countries like Australia, Croatia, US. So if you are interested in those countries, we can introduce you to those guys in the meantime. And they also only work with master franchise, not the individual franchisees, because reality is, for us, it's the same amount of work, but obviously the percentage is much higher from a master franchisor than it is from selling one unit after spending all that time and effort. So yeah, so I'll send you both proposals. Have a look, speak to the board, and see if we can go ahead. Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Do you have any more questions?
No, I think Joe, do you have more questions?
No, no more.
Okay, can we have a
Okay.
photo, Maria, so that for posterity? Okay, can we have a
Sorry?
photo? Can we have a photo?
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Of
all right.
course.
1, 2. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So
Thank you,
excited.
Maria. Have
Thank
a great
Thank you.
day.
And that's why you're so good on social media, because you take lots of photos. And I struggle with it.
All right.
Thank you, guys. Hopefully speak
Bye.
soon.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Yo,
Mm.
ano sa tingin mo?
Broker nga yun, di ba sabi ko
Oo nga, broker nga. Oh.
Ay, tingnan natin kasi mas maraming may ano sa kanila eh. Bago pa lang sila eh.
Ganon.
Tingnan natin presyo nila kung ano yung kayang gawin. Kasi tulad niyan, may mga existing na rin kasi si PC sa London. So, kung gusto naman kasi natin mag-international talaga, madaling mag-tie up kasi meron ng precedent ng mga potato corner franchises doon.
Okay.
Ayun, siguro let's just not spread too much, no? We really need to focus on how are we going to make the brand stronger, and especially dito sa Pilipinas, kung syempre baluarte natin to. So we really need to focus on the expansion, the supply chain, and the support. The easiest thing actually is to sell the franchise.
Okay.
But what we need to do is to protect the brand muna, no? If we're really into it, then we should already start registering the marks on the countries that we wanted to expand to.
Okay. Di ba meron naman yung worldwide, ano, parang world.
Meron, Madrid Protocol. Si ano rin naman ang nag-aayos noon ay si DNU. Alam ko doon pinadala ni Sir Jomag yun naman nag-aayos for potato corner.
Okay. So, yun. O sige. And then, yeah. And then, siguro, we'll table this in the board next week para alam natin direction din. Kung paano.
Oo, kasi siguro we could just start with ano lang, no? Kasi ang kailangan natin palakasin yung dito sa Pinas as well, no? Kasi syempre tinitingnan nila yung presyo. Tama yung sinabi niya. Your brand kasi is based on the number of branches that you already have existing and how strong your brand is. So, alam naman natin the more number of branches that you have, that's the strength of the brand.
Okay. I think more than anything, kung ako lang masusunod, strategically, we need to open in Tokyo. Yan ang pinaka, if you really want to strengthen the brand, di ba?
Kasi kala nga talaga Japan tayo galing.
Oo, di ba? And then, hindi naman malayo, ano, there are a lot of brands here that opens in Tokyo naman eh. Like Frosta, si Half Saint, you know, they just found the right partners. Kasi para ma-tie-in talaga natin yung Tokyo specialty coffee shop. And then
May
yun
anak
na.
naman si may anak naman si Jomag dun eh.
O yun na nga, bakit hindi lang kayo sa amin nalagay, Jo?
Di tayo nandun si ano, si
Oo
Anton
nga,
Cortez.
baka yun na lang, hanap tayo ng ano.
May isang naka-base dun, di ba?
Oo, yun na nga, yun. So,
O, sabihin mo, hindi mo magbukas
kasi
na doon.
magbukas, oo, di ba? Parang yun ang pinaka talagang ano eh. And this kind of shop, tama rin siya, no? It doesn't need like a high footprint eh. Kaya maganda rin. And then we can sell.
Kaya lang kasi di ba doon galing yung concept?
Oo nga. Pero para rin naman fries ah. Ang fries naman galing US na sa Pilipinas.
Diba?
Di ba?
Oo, kaya lang ibig sabihin, di ba? Para lang, syempre, Arabica talaga came from Japan eh, no? So, it's either Singapore, Japan, yan yung sinasabi natin na madaling na nilagyan. Kasi, technically, si Raymond, well-connected yan sa Singapore.
Oh, yes.
Japan, may anak si Jomag doon
Oo.
na naka-base.
Oo, correct.
So, kung tutuusin, kung ang direction talaga ng board gano'n, kailangan nyo na muna yung unahin bago
Yeah.
natin ibigay sa iba.
Yeah, but I think ano rin eh, I like the Toronto guys, yung mga younger
Oo
guys.
naman, wala
Yeah.
tayong problema doon. Pero most likely, yun nga yung mag-work doon. I think it's the joint venture thing muna. Kasi
Joint
very big
venture.
ang franchising sa Canada.
Talaga. Tsaka yun na nga, maybe the discussion with Jomag kung if we'll do international franchising or partnerships na lang as kasi yun yung strategy natin sa Manila, di ba? Tapos uh, I don't know, hindi ko alam ano iniisip ni Jomag but
Hindi, at least may ire-report tayo na nakausap na natin tong mga inquiries na to.
oo, pero ang galing no, sa Instagram lang nila pinipick up. Siguro talaga the concept is so quite unique na ano. Uh,
Ang
uh,
nanonood ko nga sir, usually dapat nang tinatanong muna natin saan tayo nila nakita. Kasi usually, hindi,
wala, Instagram
iba,
lang talaga. Instagram lang.
Instagram kasi sa ibang bansa, Instagram talaga.
oo.
Instagram talaga. Hindi pa nga TikTok eh. Instagram talaga. Yung tatlong nakausap natin Instagram na. And then the concept parang resonated with them. So it's either they're interested with the Japanese or they're Gen Z, ganyan.
Or introvert sila.
Or introvert sila, di ba? Na ano nila, nafe-feel nila eh. Subconsciously yung, di ba? So sige, yung sa ano naman sa Manila, yung sa Manila frankly is will be 10 stores by the end of this year. Kasi nga we had a program na no franchise fee. So that really yun yung talaga nagpo-push din. Kasi for next year, sabi, si Raymond nga gusto mag-charge ng franchise fee talaga kasi sayang naman di ba? But I think that will push. And then if we do the and then let's do the Asia franchise next year also. Parang yan for scale natin for the Philippines. But at the same time, uh, ano nga, yun nga, let's protect the brand internationally. What can we do? Kasi ito namang international, it takes time din di ba? Back and forth yan
Oo, malaking ano yan, daming
Yan.
trabaho yan. Kasi
Marami.
may localization ka dyan eh.
Oo, may localization pa. And then I'm sure game rin naman si uh, but I think the whole thing is the system talaga Kasi yung mga beans, yung mga milk, kaya mo i-source locally Kaya mo,
True.
oo, di ba? Wala namang ano dun, Danion,
It's
Sardin.
really to search for the talent ng baristas. The barista
Oo, barista.
and the system.
Oh, and then the system of recruiting. Kasi yun, ginawa natin pa dito, di ba? Sino nag-recruit, sino nagte-train, ganyan. So we need to parang hire the lead
Yung
barista.
support system ang kailangan talaga.
Oo, yun. Okay, sige. Ang dami natin trabaho, Joe.
Oo
Kaya
nga
ka
eh.
ba? Game ka ba?
Oo naman, nandito rin naman si Marvin. Nandito naman siya. Tapos ako naman yung nandun sa ano, di ba? I'll be leaving on Monday actually. I'm going back to UAE.
Oo. Yung siguro kahit Zoom na lang natin sila Mochi naman. Kasi sila Mochi, isa pa yun. Pwede pa talaga isang full business din yun Yung Mochi Donuts.
Pero
Ah,
ba't mo pa ihiwalay nasimulan mo na sa Mamuna Ako na kailangan mo talaga may ka-partner
hindi,
yung food.
yun na nga. Oo, pero baka ano lang, for example, kasi yung running cup, 'di ba? Baka may version na Mochi version, yung logo, parang
Saan
ganun.
update tayo ulit sa ano?
Hindi naman. Kasi ang core product naman natin is yung iced specialty coffee.
Oo.
So, ano lang to, mga sidekick. Hindi
Oo,
naman natin kailangan ilagay sa logo itself.
sa bagay. Okay. O sige, o siya, medyo gabi na. Thank you.
Okay, bye, good
Okay.
night.
We'll schedule with the board, particularly itong international franchising kasi at this point, ang dami talaga na inquiry. So we need to nail down the strategy.
Hmm.
Okay. Sige.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye.
Bye.
Bye.